Cohesion is the act of forming a united whole. It could be forming a united whole in a workplace, at home, in a church, or on an athletic team. In addition to cohesion, factors such as collaboration and different types of conflict play a huge role in a team's success, specifically an athletic team. Collaboration is used throughout our daily lives, whether you're going to work, class, or waiting for that after-school sport to start. Working with your peers has become a necessity. In order to have a successful business, you must have a team of employees who want to work together in order to produce something positive. This is an example of collaboration. To add, communication is the most important asset a successful team must have. On and off the field, teammates must explain how they are feeling or express what the game plan is for the next competition. Although collaboration is a very important characteristic to attain within a team setting, it can also be the downfall to one's success. Furthermore, collaboration plays a huge factor in the cohesion of a team, but I believe conflicts weigh just a tad more. Generally speaking, college athletics involves a lot of different factors to be successful. Examples of how collaboration on a team works is between players, and coaches themselves. In order to compete as a team, each person must be able to have self-disclosure, be able to compromise with everyone involved, and not avoid any type of conflict. A competing style indicates a high concern for self and a low concern for others. When we compete, we are striving to win the conflict, potentially at the expense or loss of another person. For example, a positive type of competing would be when a team can work cohesively together to win a game or tournament. Self-disclosure is a purposeful disclosure of personal information to another person. It could be argued that any verbal or nonverbal communication reveals something about the self. For example, within a team setting, every individual will find those they connect with and will be able to open up on a deeper level about their past, present, and future self. The avoiding style of conflict management often indicates a low concern for self and a low concern for others, and no direct communication about the conflict takes place. However, avoiding a conflict can indicate a high level of concern for the other person. In general, avoiding doesn't mean that there is no communication about the conflict. Even when we try to avoid conflict, we may intentionally or unintentionally give our feelings away through our verbal and nonverbal communication. During any situation in life that involves conflict, whether it be at work, in a store, at a family picnic, or even on a college athletic team, avoiding any type of conflict is almost never the right answer. Joe Marcos from the Coaches and AD website is a long-time California high school athletic director that elaborates on the different types of conflict within athletic teams. Joe Marcos states, "My approach is really stepping back instead of being reactionary. A lot of times when conflict happens, it's in your face so quickly you tend to react. I spend a lot of time investigating, a lot of time interviewing with parties involved, time talking to kids one-on-one, or bringing in 3 or 4 to get the root of what the cause really is, or conflict." Based on his article, the 5 types of conflict are value, tangible, intrapersonal, boundary, and perceptual. Value conflicts are struggles over beliefs or principles. Tangible conflicts are those that can be measured, shared, or counted. Money, personnel, benefits, or facilities are some examples. Intrapersonal conflict is about my feelings about you as a person. These are very common, and they are also the second most difficult to resolve. The most important thing to remember is intrapersonal conflict is most often the secondary result of another conflict. There are 2 types of boundary conflicts: boundary pensionary and boundary expansion. The first is when you have a certain area and someone has invaded your area. Kind of like when people say, "You're in my bubble," something along the lines of that. We all must respect everyone's personal space. The second is when you are expected to step in and help in another person's area if they are absent. Perceptual conflicts are the result of a mutual misunderstanding. This type of conflict usually results from a failure to communicate. These types of conflicts within a team can dismantle a well-ran oiled machine. Although conflicts are bound to happen being on a team, whether you're involved for 6 months or 4 years, Everyone is bound to go through some type of conflict. Conflict seems to have a way of finding leaders, and it is very time-consuming. To be effective, however, it is important we do not react. Effective leaders decide what the issues really are and then develop a plan. Not all conflict is the same. There are multiple types, and before we can begin to solve conflict, we must identify the type of conflict. Furthermore, if a conflict can't be disclosed because people are intimidated by someone else or if someone is more focused on their own well-being, it can be detrimental to a team's standard and cohesion. It is important that everyone works on their interpersonal conflicts to enhance their professionalism once a conflict does occur in a team setting. Paul Walswick once said, "You cannot not communicate," and this saying couldn't be more factual. Everything in life, especially on an athletic team, relates back to this. If cohesion wants to be reached, there needs to be communication. Thank you.